This is a video we all been talking about, me and my homies on here, whatever, about fake anime fans. People that are talking about they love this shit, they making their YouTube videos, but then in real life, outside of YouTube, they embarrassed a bit. They, they watch anime, a friend comes over, oh, let me take it out, let me turn it off. They got their anime DVDs out, oh no, let me put them shits away. No, nobody can find out. Like, oh, don't go on my Facebook page and put pictures of anime or talk about anime. I'll be mortified if my friends found out. If people ask you, do you like anime and manga? If people see that you like anime and manga, don't be embarrassed. Don't hide it. Don't feel like you have to be ashamed of it, because it's not something to be ashamed of. It's your hobbies and it's you. And if people can accept you for who you are and what you love, your interests, then maybe they're not the right person to be around. I know people that aren't into anime or manga. Does that mean we can't be cool? No. But if they disrespect my interests and try to put me down for it, then that's when it's problematic. So if I could talk to my past self and tell him one thing, it would definitely be, don't worry about what people think, because at the end of the day, they are not you. You are you. Be a confident and strong person.
So it's been 9 years since I made my first video on this topic. It was called Fake Anime Fans, and I've done a couple videos since then kind of addressing it. Now when people hear fake anime fans, you probably like, oh, what are you talking about? Are you calling people fake? Who are you to call people fake? And maybe it was mistitled all those years, to be honest with you, because that wasn't the intent. It wasn't to call people out per se for like, oh, you're not a real anime fan. It was more so just to kind of invigorate people to be honest with themselves and not hide their love and passion for this medium that I've loved for quite some time. Let's talk about it.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
Okay, so before we jump into it, I just gotta say, times have changed, people. Right now I'm rocking a Noir Caesar sweater. I have officially inked a partnership deal with Noir Caesar, a manga publishing company. We're going to be bringing you some new reviews of merchandise and manga of this company. It's an indie company coming up, but also we partnered up so that we can create, we're currently developing my very own first manga. So very, very big stuff. And again, it's just a sign of the times of how independent creators is coming up, and manga and anime has changed. Now I did a poll on Twitter and I asked, in 2019, are we still feeling embarrassed? Are people still feeling ashamed when people find out that they watch anime, or have we moved past that? And about 88% of the people said, nah, we off that, yo. There ain't no embarrassing. And a lot of the replies was, I never was embarrassed and stuff like that. But there was still about like 12%, and it was off of like about 1,100, 1,200 votes. So about like 100 and something out of that kind of said that, nah, they still would be mortified if people found out that they were into anime or that they watch anime. And it's a shame that there's still people that feel that way. I want to come and tell you, in case you're out of the loop with the rest of the world, that anime and manga is very, very sociably acceptable in 2019. Now, to be honest with you, I would say that regardless of what year it was, you should have never hide your passion. You should have never felt ashamed, because at the end of the day, if you love it, you appreciate it, you respect it, tell people. Why wait until, you know what I'm saying, it becomes the wave in order to show your appreciation and love? Become the ocean. Like for me, going throughout all my years, I've had a lot of different friendships, relationships, all sorts of things, and I never really thought like, oh, I need to hide my, and especially if you've seen my videos throughout the years, my anime and manga collection has been ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? And I never really felt like I needed to hide it. I never really, if anything, I felt proud of it. And just like video games had broken into the mainstream and everybody is a gamer now, gaming is socially acceptable, when 20 years ago it was kind of an embarrassing thing. I think anime right now is breaking through that mold, and I am so proud and happy to see it, because I remember 9 or 10 years ago, if I would have done that same poll 9 or 10 years ago, it probably would have been the polar opposite, or about 50-50 of people saying, nah, I still would get embarrassed or whatever if people found out I watched anime or read manga. And I want to ask you right now, in 2019, you watching, do you still feel, if a girl was to come over, a dude was to come over, your friends were to come over that don't know about your anime and manga hobby, would you still feel somewhat of an embarrassment that they found out? That's something that has really been on my mind lately, of like, are people still feeling that way? Which, again, I want to tell you, there's no reason to. You never should feel embarrassed about things that you love. As long as you ain't hurting nobody, as long as you ain't doing anything wrong, do you. You know, I've seen throughout the years just now, and it always takes celebrities and people of very high influence in order to change the realm, but there's also something else that I feel why we've had this major change where anime and manga is now socially acceptable. But throughout the years, from way like 10 years ago, we had Soulja Boy that made like a Naruto mixtape, you know what I'm saying? And people laughed at him at the time, and thinking back now, he was ahead of the curve, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't waiting until it became a wave. He started the wave to a certain degree. Then you got celebs now like Meg The Stallion. You got, you know, just a lot of people from Lil Uzi Vert, XXXTentacion, rest in peace. He was a big anime fan. I remember I seen a tweet of him saying One Piece over Naruto, period, something like that. Like, that was bananas. And now, in 2019, from what I see, people, when they hear you're an anime and manga fan, instead of looking at you as like you're a weirdo or there's something, you know, like stay away from that dude, people look at you as like, oh, you're kind of interesting. Oh, that's something different. And people want to get to know it. In fact, there's people of all ages. I remember running into like a 70-year-old, 80-year-old man that was a big Attack on Titan fan. There's people now, comic book fans, that are getting into anime and manga via series like One Punch Man and My Hero Academia. So now, honestly, there's really no reason, even that 12% of people that voted that they would still be embarrassed if people found out their hobby of anime and manga, there's no reason to feel that way anymore. I really don't, I feel bad, or I just feel some type of like, when I hear that people are still going through that, because I can imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I told the story before, but, you know, I want to say I was like 12 or something, and I had a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes in my closet, and I had a girl over, you know, kind of just hanging out or whatever, but I didn't want her to go in there and see the Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes. When she went in there and seen them, she was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and it was at that. So even nowadays, especially when it's more mainstream accessible and more accepted and whatnot, why would you feel anything other than proud and like, yo, this is my thing, I love this series gives me inspiration, this gives me passion. I mean, even in the early 2000s, Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and stuff like that broke the mold, and a lot of people were big DBZ fans. And one of the biggest things I think that really changed a lot, and this goes back from different generations, just like in the older generations, where once again, the people that were considered nerds or geeks or losers or whatever for liking anime and manga, in the long run, they won. Just like back in the day when people were considered nerds and losers and all that stuff for enjoying building computers or creating or working on computers, you know, 30 years ago, that was like, oh, 30, 40 years ago, you're a nerd, what's wrong with you? Now look, everyone uses computers, down to even in their phone. Your phone is basically a mini computer in your hand. When 20 years ago, people were considered nerds and losers for loving Dragon Ball and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Now everyone loves that type of stuff. It's crazy that, again, it's better to be yourself from jump. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself from jump, because at the end of the day, whoever you are, whatever you are, whether you're a variety of different hobbies within one, at the very least, never short yourself, because at the end of the day, in the long run, you can be one of those people, which is not a bragging right or anything, but you could know that you was true to yourself from the start, and you never denounced anything simply for the sake of, you know, pleasing other people. Because now those people that were anime and manga fans 20 years ago, and they never let up, they loved their stuff, they you know what I'm saying, maybe they felt a little bit like, damn, I don't want nobody to know, whatever, but they still kept it real. Now they can say, look how mainstream it is, and I was one from the start. And I'm not trying to say like, hey, be a hipster or whatever, but it just shows, be yourself, be real about it. Now everybody's coming out. We even had Kim Kardashian talking about anime a year or two ago. So many people are accepting it and loving it. I'm just proud. I feel like a proud dad in a way. Not saying that I started any of this, so please don't take my words out of context, but I just feel proud to know that in 2019, my hobby, my favorite, you know, hobby, anime and manga, is really looked at and celebrated, opposed to what it was. Shouts out to everybody that kept it real from day one with anime and manga. Again, shout out to Noir Caesar. We're about to make my first manga. Great stuff. Y'all gonna be hearing a lot of great things from this company. New manga, new anime, black owned anime and manga company, publishing company. This is gonna be great. I love it. Anime and manga for life, baby. But that's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit that bell to get all notifications, and if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy! Have an awesome day, peace in, and shout out to everybody that made it happen, you know, so many years later, and anime and manga is celebrated and is accepted and whatnot. Not that we needed the acceptance, but it's nice to get the gold medal once in a while, you know what I mean? Have an awesome one.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride. But I hope you know that when